What's up, vinyl community? It's Thrashing Zombie, back with another video. A little different this time. I'm gonna see if I can get a thread going, maybe. Have to excuse me. I've got a little ear infection or something going on. My right ear is all full feeling, and I can't really hear out of it. It's kind of stuffy today. But I kind of wanted to do this video, so I don't know how loud this music is behind me. Like I said, I can barely hear out of this ear. It seems kind of loud, but I'll turn it down a little bit. Like I said, it's a thread. I'm trying to make a thread video, see if everybody else wants to do it or has any interest in doing it. Nobody has to. This is kind of a cool idea, I thought. It has to do with mixtapes. I can't speak for everybody else in the VC, but for me, in high school when I was a teenager, I was a big cassette guy. I listened to cassettes all the time, and I noticed a lot of other people on here have said that they listen to cassettes. But I would also make mixtapes a lot of times, because I like a lot of the albums, but sometimes I just wanted to hear like my favorite song from the album along with all my other favorite songs from other albums. So I would make a mixtape. And I thought it'd be a cool idea to do an updated version of a mixtape with some older songs and some newer songs. Some songs from when I was a teenager, and some songs from now that I like a lot, from newer bands from like the last 10-15 years or so. Because I was in high school in the late 80s, early 90s. So I was originally going to do like 15 songs, and I was going to do a mix of vinyl and cassettes and CDs. My tape deck is kind of weird. I've never recorded anything on it before. It took me a little while. I started making the mixtape with the CDs, and I was going to have it all ready and everything. And I did one side, flipped it over, and then it's got an auto reverse, so I put tape in one side, play it, and then when it's done, it just starts playing the other side without me taking the tape out. So what happened was that when I started doing a song, I must have hit the wrong button, and it started going the other way than it was supposed to, so it started recording over the stuff on the other side. So I'm like, crap. So I was going to start it over, and I listened to it for a second. Some of the CD stuff was super distorted, because it's got these little knobs here for recording, how loud it is and stuff. It goes all the way to 10. And for the records, I put it all the way up to 10. That sounded okay. So I just left it there for the CDs as well. These newer CDs, no. It gets really distorted and it sounds like crap. So I tried doing it, I've turned it down to 5. That seemed a little bit better. And then I said, well, older CDs, when I did, was fine on 10. So I didn't know which ones to do. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to do vinyl. And that proved to be a pain in the ass as well. So I ran out of tape on one side, and then I went back to listen. And I was going to record that tape onto a different tape. And I can't figure out how to do that on this double cassette deck. And when I did, actually I did one way, but it sounded like crap, and I thought, well, that sounds like crap. So I said, screw it, I'm not even going to make the mixtape. It was getting late. It was like 9:30 last night, and I was tired. I worked all day, so I said, screw it. I do kind of have a mixtape. What did I do with it? This one? This is the one I started with, 60 minutes. I mean, I got all but probably a minute's worth of one song on the last bit of it, but there's still a minute left. I knew I was going to run out, and I just kept waiting and watching, like, come on, be enough, be enough. Wasn't enough. So anyway, I'm going to tell you, I got 10 songs from 10 different bands, 5 new, 5 old. I'm going to tell you how I got it set up on the tape, how I was going to do it. But first we're listening to Joe Satriani's Flying in a Blue Dream. So the cassette resurgence, well, I don't know if it's a resurgence yet, the cassette revival that's kind of going on, people are kind of getting back into those. I think it has to do with a movie called Guardians of the Galaxy. For those of you who don't know what that movie is, it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. It came out in 2016 and 15, something like that. A Walkman and a cassette tape were pretty prominently featured in the movie because the kid was born in the 80s. And Star-Lord was his name, and it was played by Chris Pratt. For those of you who don't know him, he was on Parks and Rec. He was Andy, kind of a doofus. He's been in a couple other things. And it was this cassette, this Walkman. I don't know if it's an actual Walkman or just like a cheap knockoff or whatever. But this cassette player had the old school headphones. Was very, very precious to him because it was the last thing his mother gave him before she died. She had cancer, I think, and had one cassette tape with it of like it was a mixtape of songs that she recorded from 70s and early 80s, I think. The song "Cherry Bomb" by the Runaways was featured prominently in that movie. Along with a couple of ones I don't remember, but I remember that one because I think they played that song during the trailers as well. So that's kind of, I think, where it started to come back a little bit. So anyway, that might not even be true. Anyway, I'm gonna show you my 2019. Why am I doing air quotes? 2019 playlist or mixtape. And I'm screwing this up. 2019 mixtape. 10 songs. I know you can fit more than 10 songs on even a 60-minute cassette, but this is all I did. So, first one, okay, I'm gonna, again, before I show you this again, a mixtape is kind of almost an art form. You kind of have to put the songs on there in just a certain way where they blend well together and one song kind of flows into the next. Sometimes you put a song there and then the next song is kind of jolts you out of the last song and it's kind of jarring. So you kind of try to make them flow together. A lot of people make mixtapes, probably know this. Was I good at it? I thought I was. I don't know if I am. I thought I was with this. And again, I sometimes make like themes for the mixtapes. Like certain song themes, lyrical themes, names of the songs, types of bands, things like that. This is kind of like that. This is sort of a theme where it's I went old, new, old, new, old, new. No, that's not right. I went new, old, new, old. Read the song that way. So I started with a new song, and then I had an older song after that sounds similar to that, in the same kind of vein. There's two bands on here that have the same singer, but they're different bands. Okay, enough of this. This is probably getting really boring. I'm just going to show you what I did. The first one I started with was from Black Fast. This is Terms of Surrender. I did the song I Conspire. It starts off in your face, no lead in, it just hits you right in the face. It's fast, riffing, freaking multiple solos throughout it. A little slow part near the end, but then it speeds up at the end. Great way to start a mixtape, I think. Get you in the mood. This is all metal, or metal and yeah, it's metal. Some straight up heavy metal. Some like this is thrash metal. So, okay, and to go along with that one, the same kind of vein as, starts off fast, hits you in the face, speedy, doesn't really let up to the entire song. It's Death Angel, Ultraviolence. I picked Mistress of Pain. I love that song a lot. I was gonna go my first iteration of this. I did 14 songs, and it was gonna be this huge mixtape. I was gonna go with the Ultraviolence, but since I pared it down, shorter songs, I went with Mistress of Pain. Like I said, another in your face, like doesn't let up song. Starts right in and kicks you in the face. So, okay. So those two are like paired together. Then I went next with like more like straight up heavy metal, slight speed metal kind of. This is Holy Grails, The Time of Pride and Peril. And I went with a song called Sudden Death. This song is not super slow. It's got a feel like guitars come in, it's riffing right away, and then the guitar stops, there's drums, and there's like a bass line in the back. The guitars come in a little bit, and then the chorus comes in, and the guitars come in again, and it gets fast-ish. Kind of reminds me of like Judas Priest kind of stuff. Certain Iron Maiden songs, sort of in that vein. Holy Grail, I think, was very influenced by Judas Priest, and accepts like kind of heavy metal, speed metal kind of stuff. And Sudden Death's a great song. You can find that on YouTube if anybody's interested. It's got a nice bass line throughout. Great lyrics, great chorus. Chorus is nice headbanging section. Complement that was an older band, Judas Priest, Killing Machine. I went with Delivering the Goods, I believe, is what I went with from this album. Because that one's kind of fast, a little speedy, in the same kind of vein as that. I'm sure everybody knows Judas Priest knows Delivering the Goods. It's a great song. So there's that. And then I went with a little bit, I messed up on this one, I guess. Well, no, I did. So, this is where it's the same singer but different bands. Okay? Next, I went with Anthrax's We Come For You All, a song called Nobody Knows Anything. Is it Nobody Knows Anything? Nobody Knows Anything, yep. It's got insane drum fills throughout the whole song. One of Charlie's best drumming. Some of his best drumming, in my opinion. This is what, 2000, I don't remember, 2012? No, not 2012, is it? 2007. No, that's 2017. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, but nobody knows anything. By the way, it's a two LP set. It's released on vinyl for the first time, 2017. Yeah, so that's a good song. I don't know what else to say about that. My brain hurts. And then I went with more mellow-ish, gets speedy near the end though. John Bush's other album, that We Come For You All, was John Bush's last album with Anthrax. This was Armored Saints, Symbol of Salvation. Probably their best-selling album. A lot of play on MTV, The Reign of Fire, and maybe that other song, was it Truth Always Hurts, or Another Day. What I did with here was, I went with Another Day, but before that there's a little instrumental about a minute, 10-15 seconds long, called Half Drawn Bridge, which I think is a nice segue from the more faster, speedier Anthrax song. This kind of slows it down and gets you ready for this more melodic, slower song, Another Day, which speeds up at the end a little bit, but it's still kind of a little bit of a ballad, I guess. But like I said, Half Drawn Bridge, I always like doing that as well, making like a segue into like a slower song with like a little instrumental. Some bands do that, like these guys. And Corrosion of Conformity had a couple on their Blind album where it was just a minute or two instrumentals. Give me a second here. And let's see, where were we? Next I went with two bands that sound very similar, and that's because this band wanted to sound similar to them. That's Gruesome's Twisted Prayers. I went with a song called Waste of Life from this album, which starts off, sounding like, hold on. Sounds like a death song. This band sounds like death anyway, and they wanted it to sound that way. It's a really good song. Very, very reminiscent of the next song I have on here, and that's why I did it, because they sound very similar. Same kind of lyrical content, saying the same kind of thing in a way. Great song. And then what I'm talking about here is Spiritual Healing, the song Low Life. My favorite song from this album, because Chuck, when he sings Low Life, he's like, low, no, I can't do it. It's just the way he says low life. He kind of drags out the low and then says life, but in Chuck's way. If you've heard this, you know what I'm talking about. This is probably the most underrated album, in my opinion. It is my favorite. This is what got me into death. And these two complement each other very well, the songs. Because like I said, they're in the same kind of vein, same lyrical kind of content, basically saying that somebody's a piece of crap. They don't believe in anybody but themselves. They don't like anybody but themselves. All they care about is themselves. So it goes pretty well together. And the last two, which, I mean, I don't really think they go well together that well, and I kind of just threw them in because, like I said, it's getting late. Entombed, Clandestine. I went with Chaos Breed. I could have chosen pretty much any song on here because I love every song on this. Chaos Breed and Sinners Bleed, or Chaos Breed and Sinners Bleed are my two favorite songs on here. So it's going to be either one of them. And Sinners Bleed, that and the first song, which is, I can't remember what the name of that is. Living Dead. Living Dead and Sinners Bleed, there's a slight, the song doesn't end and then silence and the next song starts. There is, if you listen real closely, Living Dead kind of ends and there's like a little bass strum, something, and then the next song starts. So it doesn't really end. It's kind of like two songs connected. And I thought I'd have a little trouble getting that just right to get on the cassette tape. I did it once before, years ago. I had, I think, I'm drawing a blank here. I had Pearl Jam's Even Flow. I can't remember if I had that first and then Sinners Bleed, or if I had Living Dead, and then Even Flow. But one of them, it was perfect. That little bass drum went right into the next song, no space, no silence. It just sounded like it went right from that song to the next. I love when that happens. I've never been able to replicate that, like trying to. And to kind of go with that, I mean, it's not really in the same vein as Entombed, Swedish death metal. This is black and thrash, but same kind of like dark, almost satanic kind of music, I guess. Hints of Satanism or the dark arts kind of thing. The Skeleton Witch, Serpents Unleashed. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I went with a song called From a Cloudless Sky on here. All the songs in here are very short, probably no more than 3 minutes, not even. Cloudless Sky, I think, kinda goes with that. Chaos Breed, chaos, and then thunder from a cloudless sky is what it says. There's no clouds, but there's thundering out. It's kind of chaotic to me, so that kind of works for me, I think. So that is my 2019 mixtape. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if anybody else is interested in doing something like that, I'm gonna do a hashtag, maybe hashtag 2019 mixtape, or hashtag 2019 mixtape, hashtag mixtape, hashtag 2019. I don't know, something like that. Probably hashtag 2019 mixtape, or mixtape 2019. One of those. So if you guys do that, I'd love to see them. So put that hashtag in 2019, or hashtag 2019 mixtape, because I'd be interested to see what you guys put on yours for older ones and newer ones, and if you guys do themes and whatnot. Hell, you can even do like I used to do for my girlfriend, make a whole tape of ballads from bands, if you want. You don't have to, but yeah, anyway, rock on. Till next time.